I'm the type to have a kingdom, but sleep on the floor just to show myself my true value. Self-discipline. I want the kush, but I know my value.
I'm TD3. The way I talk, they think I got CTE. My brain is scrambled, but I'm using words like Scrabble. I'm so depicted, but my intent did. Oh! I'm trying to get me a ring. The SAT words.
Yeah, that was with the Scrabble.
I've been through a lot, like a car in this parking spot.
Huh?
I don't move. I just stay aloft. House arrest, probation. Been through a lot. This shit don't mean nothing.
Talk your shit.
I like how you said about I've been through a lot like a car in a parking spot.
Huh?
Because it's a parking spot. The car didn't just wasn't
Ain't shit
born
moving
there.
nowhere.
But the car wasn't born there. The car
Ain't
didn't
shit
just
moving
appear
nowhere.
there.
And it does go through a lot just sitting
It got somewhere to
Right.
be there, but it ain't moving nowhere.
Exactly.
All types of
See,
shit.
y'all y'all missing the biggest part.
Go
the
ahead.
car goes through a lock.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because at the end,
Yes,
right,
sir.
Not the
Yes,
mechanic
sir.
breaking it
Yes.
because the car get through the parking spot at the end of the day, right?
No,
it's
no,
gonna
no.
get through.
It's a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah,
Like
Over
it's in a
Marco.
lot. Right? Everything
You don't got
seems
the hat
to
on
be.
no more.
Wait, where's your hat?
No, I'm saying as in like
Let's see
Hat
how
on
that
the
shit-
dashboard.
the car.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
I swear I never lose. A nigga try to de-escalate and can't defuse. Huh? I'm like the bomb, you just gotta light the fuse.
Did y'all see China's thing? No.
You did chance there.
China's thing.
Marco did not say nothing in English.
He was talking to Finland.
Dr. Marco.
Yo, did y'all seen China put up its own sun?
Oh yeah, I
seen
seen
that.
that.
That's different.
No, they different.
But at the end of the day, that's what me and Marco was talking about the other day was, all right, let's say Tesla was before Henry Ford. The word would be so much different, right? Like,
Never would have happened.
what did you say? Continue.
So, electric cars and automatic transmissions have actually been around since damn near cars.
That's my
been
point.
invented.
Yep.
But the people who had the most money at the time was fossil fuel investors. So your oil companies and your tycoons
Right.
and all that, and they was making too much money off of that.
So, okay, so now is the conversation of humanity, the
Right.
evolution of humanity or the evolution of economy?
Right. So economy led the way. That's where the industrialized the whole world.
Right.
People
And
make
that
money.
is the true essence of the problem, bro.
Right. I mean, I'm put it this way: they've been trying to put robots in factories for years.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't want people working there, but it's like the government is like, okay, you do that, we got millions of people without jobs, so we can't do that.
Right.
But we could have did that years ago, and they doing it now.
And
Like,
then
you go
at
to
the,
Walmart right now, you checking yourself out. They got a robot that's doing all this shit.
so me and Rick need to have
Bringing
this
your
convo
pizza and
deeper.
all.
So Rick, so with that being said, what would be the reason for people to be prosperous or paid if the robots was doing the work?
No reason, bro.
Right.
You just gotta, honestly, you looking for the luxury in life. That's it. You feel me? And they, like, what the fuck was the name of the movie with the little robot on the moon or whatever the fuck he was to clean up all the trash? You feel me? You seen the
I
shit
don't
at
know
the
that
end
one.
and everybody was fat on a hologram,
I don't know
riding
that
around
one.
on these little hovercrafts and shit.
I
Like,
might not need to see that. I might need to see that one. I never
Bro, that
seen
shit
it.
was crazy, bro. It's a movie about, it's a little robot, sad ass robot, just doing cleaning up all the trash after all the humans and shit.
Not
But
ET.
why would the robot be sad? I've never seen it, but I'm
I
asking
mean, the
questions.
robot had developed emotions. There was some kind of AI shit they tried to
Right.
do there, but you know, it met somebody. For the
But
first
that
time.
goes back to what we first spoke about that time. If we were the robots and we still get depressed, we still get anxiety, we still get sad.
That's just because that's just programmed into us.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, okay, let's go back to the root. If the robots are doing the work, because the work is the translation of us and our value and us and our homes and us and our cars and us and our being able to afford things,
Right.
which goes back to Henry Ford versus Tesla. So it's like, what is the true essence of it? It's economy versus humanity. Because economic values can be delivered through robots, like you're saying.
Right.
But then humanity, what would be the purpose of humanity if there's no work?
I mean, but at the same time, you gotta put a value on work because the
Right.
people doing the essential jobs right?
Like what?
Essential workers. We just found out this in the pandemic. Like the niggas baking bread. You feel me? Like niggas growing wheat. Like you feel me? Like the niggas that's.
But can't robots do this?
Robots can do it to a certain extent, but at the
What's
same
the extent?
time,
What's the extent?
Really, there's no extent.
Right.
They can do it. They
That's
can do
my
it all,
point.
right? I get what you're saying, but there's still gonna be a workforce involved. Somebody maintaining the robots and performing maintenance, but you can even make robots to perform maintenance, right?
Right.
That can all be weeded out electronically, right? But at the same time, then what do you got to live for as a human being?
Right.
You feel me? Nothing.
And that is the true answer to everything, bro, because there is an answer to that. But we as humans can't give the own answer to humans. But what you just broke down was the end of the road of robots. Like, yes, robots could do this, but what would be the point of robots to do this? What would be the point of humans at that point? But because there is a purpose of humans, but that's why there was a Henry Ford before Elon Musk, because humans need to find that purpose. And even though there has been religions for all these years, we still don't believe in a true force enough to accept. And that's where the answer is. It's not in the belief. The answer is an accept.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because you can't believe anything without accepting something. You see what I'm saying? That's the point of perspective. And what me and Rick talking about is the perspective of robots could do everything humans can do. But then it would eliminate humans. But then it's like when you eliminate humans, you can't eliminate humans because there is a purpose of humans. And that's what me and TD be talking about of everything is magic and shit. Is because it's like everything is just like, look at these motherfuckers we looking at. There's 3 motherfuckers in front of us. They all have different routes in life right now, bro. Just like as well as us. We are 4 individuals just sitting in the Tesla right now. For some weird reason, right? But it's for a reason. And reason and purpose are like simultaneous. They're like the same thing. So it's like, because at that point, that's the only question we ever have. Because yes, motherfuckers could work and feel like we're robots. But what are we at that point? You know what I mean? We're not really living in our purpose. But once we find a purpose, we could live like robots. But we know our purpose isn't a robot. Because like Rick said, a robot could do everything a human can do, but it doesn't have a purpose besides eliminating humanity. But humanity needs to be lifted above robot, which is why there was Henry Ford before Tesla. Because we needed all that time to really have perspective on fossil fuels, on war in Iraq. But we didn't need to have that war if there was Tesla, because it's all energy. Tesla's all energy.
At the same time, energy, that energy that Tesla uses, you're talking about electricity. Like 80% of electricity is still generated through fossil fuels because you gotta have something to give
with the friction, causing the friction.
Exactly. So you use mechanical engines to create electricity, mechanically. So, and even that's what the water power is. When we build these dams, we're creating the mechanical energy from the water, turning these turbines and creating electricity. Same thing with wind power.
I love how you just brought in those elements, bro. Like I don't know as much as you technically, but the fact that you just brought in those elements of water, solar, and wind and all that, I love it because I feel that. That's what I feel. I don't do research. Exactly. But I feel the nature.
See, like right now, we could build a huge solar farm in the Sahara Desert, but the means of transporting that electricity and that energy throughout the world, we don't have the resources to do so. Because the cables, think about this, like the cables that, I don't know if you understand electricity in your vehicle.
I mean, we see cable lines everywhere.
Right. So
when we walk out our cribs, we see cable lines.
Electricity that's traveling through that cable, right?
Those cables aren't just cables.
You would need 100 billion times more of that material just to transfer that energy from the solar power to power everybody's world just off of solar
but
power.
my only thing that I always stand on towards that shit with water, with sun, with all that shit is water and sun is the polar opposites, right? And at that point, it's all about the in-between, which is the cables that you're talking about. So at that point, we have all of that, bro. which is why I believe there could have been Tesla before Henry Ford. But the fact that humanity needed to learn lessons is why there wasn't Tesla before Henry Ford. And that's what I believe.
But when you plug your car in to get electricity to charge your car,
It's from a cord.
it's from a cord, but that
Honda
cord,
Accord.
on the other side of that cord is a power plant,
Right.
and on that power plant is generating electricity through fossil fuels. So the fossil fuels just
How does that look?
It's a generator, and it's like just like your engine. You put gas in that bitch and it runs, and it creates electricity for all your electronics in the car. It's the same thing.
So all right, let's talk
Power plants.
logistics and realistic.
Right.
With the Wawa in Deltona, off exit whatever by DHS, where is that connected to?
What you mean?
Like, where is that Wawa that I go get charged at? Where is that connected to
It's
to get the
connected
power?
your city grid, your power grid, the city.
And what does that look like? I'm literally asking.
It goes
questions.
to a power plant. It's like a big ass. Just think of
Where is the power plant?
I don't know where it's located in Orlando, but I know every city.
So from Orlando, it could transfer to Deltona,
Deltona will have a smaller version, substations.
a sub.
Yeah. So Orlando, each area has its own power station. So if you think about it, it would be like.
And what are those connected through?
Wires, power cables,
And what's transmitting through those cables?
electricity, electrons, to be exact.
Energy, right?
Right, and there's two theories on that. One theory is that electrons are traveling from the power plant's location to the next location, which is your house, right? Or the transformer in your subsection and then to your house, right? And the other theory is that it's just moving back and forth, vibrating, and that's how electricity travels through power plants.
Why is it a theory?
Because electrons have never physically been seen. We've never.
But they've been harnessed.
We know that they're based on math, right?
Right.
We've seen neutrons and protons and various other particles, but we've never seen an electron. Electron, it can be infinitely small.
Right.
We don't know. We've never
Like
seen
air, we can't see air,
Right.
but we breathe it.
Right.
But that don't mean just because we breathe it, we believe in
Right,
it.
because air is made up of molecules, and molecules are made up of protons, and protons are made up of particles.
Right.
I mean, atoms. Atoms and then particles.
And
atoms.
this is why, like me personally, I would try shrooms or any
I heard that
hallucinogens.
shit like really opens your third eye.
You see what I'm saying? That's why I would,
You
because
gotta be in a good mental state if you're gonna do shrooms. Or
and
any kind of
because of
hallucinogen.
everything you're saying right now is like why I would endure that process, because it's like I want to see what it's like to see things that aren't there, because at that point I will believe more than I believe.
I don't know if you would see it, but
No, because the hallucinogens is
right. So math is our
reference point.
Our focal point, our lens to see
Right.
the things that we can't see.
Right.
We use math to see that.
Exactly.
Right? How fast things travel. Like, for instance, they did a mission to a comet. Right? They sent the satellite to a comet. They developed this gel. It's called aerogel, where they take gelatin and they take all the water out, and it's just solid structure. They use that. They put that on a satellite, sent it to a comet, capture particles from that comet, because they thought the comet was extra solar. It didn't come from our solar system, but it actually was from our solar system. Anyway, they sent it there. It had to go around the sun 4 times to meet up with the comet. Then it sent it there. It was at 26,000 miles, and it was fucking crazy. They collected the thing, and then they sent it back to Earth off a satellite, and they did that all through math. It's ridiculous. Because there's no way you could know how to do it without doing it
Because
first.
you need a calculation.
Right.
You need a reference point.
And you never tried it before, so it's literally you got it right on your first try.
Right.
It costs billions of dollars to do. It's fucking ridiculous how math works on the higher levels.
And then that's when I go to the point of infinity, because that's the end of math.
Right, but there's no end of math because we don't know. Infinity means there's no end.
Right.
Right? But then there's also different sizes of infinity.
And that's why,
Sorry.
TD, that's why in the rap that I said aftermath.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because infinity, the next step after infinity is aftermath. Because you just told me like the 26,000, like you told me numbers, you told me ideas, you told me stuff that actually is tangible. But I have these intuitional feelings, bro. Like I literally feel all of these shit, and that's why I feel like energy conquers all. Which is what I was trying to get to with the chords, with the everything, is because energy is the actual foundation, is the common denominator. Energy is the soul. Energy.
You ever watch?
Right.
You ever watch?
Fuck a fossil fuel. What he just said.
You
Right.
ever watch any videos on Minister Farrakhan?
That's what I'm trying to say, bro. I don't do research.
Right.
Anything that I endure in or indulge in is for entertainment purposes only.
Right.
That's all. But intuitionally, I feel like divine.
I use it as entertainment
Right.
purposes as well.
Right.
I don't
But
do it
you
just
actually
for the
gain
education
information.
Yeah, I do it. I don't just do it for the education.
But information entertains you.
Right. Exactly.
But intuition entertains me.
Actually, nigga, at my house, what I'm watching is space shit. Niggas camping in the woods.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, like you know, if the shit hit the fan, can I go in the woods, build a little house, and survive?
And that's why I feel like even my intuition with the not eating the animals, and I eat light. I eat very light every day.
Right.
But I feel like, let's say, like you just said, shit hits the fan and motherfuckers have to survive off a little food. I'm ready for that.
Right, but did you actually do the research and know what plants you can go
And
out
that's
and
my
eat?
point, Rick, that everything's intuitional, but I still can do it.
Exactly.
But motherfucker, like you will be eye to eye with me, but it's because you did the research.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But we'll still be there. We'll still be their survivalist, but mine's is intuition, but I want to combine mine and your things. Like I want to combine intuition with research now.
Yeah, I'm just mostly going for research.
But for some reason, it's a very hard step for me to take, bro. I don't know why. Like even when I was in school and
intuition, you don't feel like you need information.
Right. Cause I feel so divine and plugged in already.
And with information, you be like, fuck intuition. I know what I know. I did the research.
But look, I'm gonna break this down too. Information is way more limited than intuition. Because what I keep saying about divine, information is not divine. It's humankind. Information is humankind.
I mean, I disagree with that because if humanity comes from divinity, then anything that we do is a part of that.
But now we're gonna correlate to egotistic.
That's also like saying anything man-made is not natural, right?
Yep, and that's what I conquered 3 years ago.
We come from nature.
Rick, look, I'm glad. See, Rick, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm glad you brought that up. Because I used to be like, yo, I used to think something else, but then I realized nothing is man-made.
Right.
And it's just man-built. You know what I'm saying? It's just put together. But until 3 years ago, I didn't understand that idea. But like I said, I did get that idea. I grasped that idea. But now I'm going to tell you about my side. So with the divinity, with the intuition aligned with divinity more than information is like, wake up, bro.
You need to sleep.
Wake up.
You got to just hear this.
So divinity is more aligned with intuition because when we think about information, is mankind, is man-made, that is man-made. Information is man-made, but intuition is energy fueled, like he said. Like intuition is intuition and energy is beyond our solar system, which means it's beyond mankind.
Well, see, I still disagree when you say man-made because we don't make anything. We just observe.
All we make is information. That's my point. That is derived from humanity.
Even information we don't make.
Yes, we do. That's derived from human. Right.
We observe.
As humans.
But like, also information.
This is always happening. Just because
only from here, though.
I'm saying, but just because we don't notice it or we do notice it doesn't mean it's not going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's still going on.
Yeah.
Whether we notice it or not.
Right.
We discover things on our level things that we never knew before, but it's not.
That's the highlight. That's the highlight.
Through observation.
The hour level is the highlight, Rick. Because the hour level is the highlight because that's where we are. But we know we are just a small part of whatever this is.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm saying, regardless of we know or don't know, we're still a part of it, right?
But Rick, you're answering every answer with your statements.
Right.
Because you're saying it so precise. Like regardless if we know or we not know, that's where my intuition is. That's where the weight, you're giving more weight to my intuition. Because you're giving me we don't know or we do know.
No, I don't have a problem with your part on intuition.
No, I know.
Stuff, you know,
right.
Like we don't make anything. We just observe. And
but that's the information part.
You know, like when you cook a meal, you know, it takes certain ingredients under certain steps and process. You got to heat it for a certain amount of time,
Yeah.
and then let it cool, and then mix something else in, and then you got a perfect dish.
Yeah.
Right. That
Timing.
that possibility is always there.
Which time is also
Right. You know what I'm saying?
relative to
it
us.
It just takes for us to figure out how to do it.
Because me and another technical homie had a convo about time. Because let's say the world was froze, right?
Right.
And then it was unfroze in 2000, whatever relative quote unquote years.
Okay.
What is time at that point? Because, all right, let's say we froze right now through our conversation. Quote unquote 2,000 years pass, but then we unfreeze, but it was just a matter of seconds. So what is time at that point?
Time is still time.
Relative,
It's
though.
relative to us.
Right. So time is not time if it's relative.
Time is relative to everything, though. So, like,
Everything that we
to a
know.
light particle,
That we know,
time doesn't
that we acknowledge.
Right, but to a light particle, time doesn't exist because to them,
Right.
they just always get to where they've been, and they've always been there.
Right.
It's not like they ever started from somewhere, and then it's instantaneous.
Right.
That's how they perceive the world.
Exactly.
Right. Mathematically speaking.
Right.
Right. So for us, it's just how we perceive the world, our perception. So we can be moving through the world 2,000 years at a time, and to an outside observer, we not moving at all. Like you said, the Earth is frozen.
Right.
So I'm saying, so it's all perspective.
Right.
Right.
Which that is the answer to everything, because we are so small. Earth is so small to the fuck a solar system,
Right.
to the galaxy.
And the solar system is
Fuck a
small to the
Milky Way galaxy.
And the Milky Way is small
The
to
universe,
The
right.
universe is small to whatever it's in
To
time.
whatever.
Right.
And that's the point.
And it
that
has to be inside of
information is
something, right?
limited.
Because
Right.
at least
That's-
on our information.
And that's why I believe that my step towards research is so hard, because I want to rely on divinity and intuition so bad. That's why it's so hard for me to research it, because I feel like divinity and intuition is limitless, but information is limited, because information will only be what somebody else had thought or ideaed.
Right. But if you feel that way, I feel like the other thing is the know. If you like, so if intuition,
It's almost damn. It's
information would be the
it's the
opposite,
thin line
right?
between a dead end and infinity.
Right, and if-
what I'm saying
if
is
information
is a
is the
thin line
opposite-
between dead end and
if
infinity.
information is the opposite of intuition, then you should know thy enemy, right? So you do as much research as you can to further disprove the information.
Right.
So the
Or
more
to even be more
Right.
accumulate. Fuck.
acclimated.
Yeah. Thank
Right.
you. Yeah.
So, like an atheist, right? An atheist usually knows more about religion than most religious
Christians.
people of religion, period.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Whether it's Muslim, whether
Christianity
it's,
is just a denomination.
because they try so hard to prove their theories
Right.
wrong.
Christianity is just a denomination, a subsection of Judaism, right? And that can be a subsection of Muslim as well, because those are two of the oldest.
The Torah is the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it all
And then
depends
it's all broken
on
up.
How far you go, and that's just
Right.
that's just in that religion. That's not Buddhism and
Yeah.
Hinduism.
But I feel like Buddhism is more so energy.
Right. You know, because a lot of people think that, you know, Jesus Christ and God is the end all be all of religion.
And the part I don't like about that
Most
Christianity
people in the
is like,
world
why are y'all still?
All right now.
but most people in the world don't think that, because
Right.
That shit didn't say playing basketball. Bro, that shit didn't say playing basketball, bro.
but most people in the world don't think that, because what I'm trying to say is
There's no
Out of all things.
there are more Muslims in the world than any other version of religion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that's real.
And that's just what it is. Over 2 billion people.
But then we going back to perspective, because
Right.
we believe America is the thing of dreams, the
Well,
idea of dreams, right?
It is.
And America is predominantly Christianity for some reason. For some reason.
That's also true, but that's because the majority of people in America are white, and those people are descendants of people who were Protestants, and that's another denomination of Christianity as well. So that's where that comes from. The majority of the people who live here come from countries who believed in that religion, and none of those countries actually developed that religion.
Right,
That
or
religion
stood on their
comes
own.
from the Middle East.
Yeah.
Right? So it's crazy how Christianity works, right?
Yeah.
Because
100.
Christianity is like an infectious disease. It just takes
Yeah.
over the world. Like,
It's a drug.
when they came over to America, South America, Central America, they burnt books. They didn't just say, hey, you know, like Mexicans and El Salvadorians and South Americans they're all like hardcore Christians because that's the only religion they know, because all of their past history, their culture was burnt and destroyed.
Right.
And the elders were killed.
But
so they don't
let's
have the
stop there,
stories
please.
passed down.
Please, let's stop there.
It's crazy.
What is that, Rick? What got burnt?
Culture.
No.
The information.
No, right.
Yeah.
Say
If
that
you
again.
want to break it down.
Say that again. What got
The
burnt?
information.
But intuition can never get burnt, bro.
Right, but intuition leads to information, right? Because the things that you intuitively feel
yes.
and observe
But
and understand,
Thank you. Yes.
you want to pass that down.
That is true. But
Right?
at that
Once-
point, what is the real?
But
What's the umbrella? Yes, there's things that trickle down, but
I'm
the
saying
umbrella
everything you learn in life, if you have a seed,
is divined or derived from intuition.
I'm saying, but you're gonna want that
Yeah,
seed
to pass
of yours
on.
to
Yep.
know what you know.
I want my
they can
nephew
be-
to know what I know, so
they
he could be
ahead
better.
of life, right?
Yep.
So everything you understand now, when they understand it at an earlier age, the only thing they have to do is learn more.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So at
Damn.
the end of the day, as soon as you transfer that intuition, that energy to someone else, that
Yep.
becomes information.
Exactly.
And that's when information, that's why I say information is always there.
Yep.
Because, yeah, you can get it all on your own, but once you give it up, then that's it. You see what I'm saying? That's when information comes on top right there.
That's when the transfer of intuition is information.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
And it's just like, I'll give you one better. Energy, right? What we call electricity, right? It's magnetism and electricity. You can't have one without the other. It's electromagnetism. And that's where that word comes from. People used to think of it as two separate things, but it's one thing.
Right. And
So-
that's the part, even that the way people differentiate darkness and light.
Right.
It's like, wait, bitch, don't you understand that there would be no light without darkness? Don't you understand that there's no purpose of light without darkness?
And there's no darkness without light, because you won't know that you're
You
in
won't
the
know
dark
what light exactly.
unless you have light. To
Exactly.
tell you that you're in the dark.
Exactly.
Right? Because if your whole life you've been blind, right? All you know.
That's
is
all
darkness.
you know. That's
So
it.
You don't know that you're in darkness.
If nobody else told you, yo, I could see this, I could see that,
Right.
it ain't nothing to you.
Exactly. That's your life. You don't know that you're in darkness without light.
Mm-hmm.
So so you can't have one without the other.
And it's just, it's fucked up, like, especially for you and I, to understand all this shit, but still have to clock in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, motherfuckers like us that understand all this shit, but we still gotta clock
Because
in
the niggas that-
to provide
the
our
niggas-
day-to-days.
Niggas that intuitively figured out this information capitalized and rigged the system so that it could always benefit from it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
So even if somebody figured out their law, figured out their
Yeah, 'cause
compound,
at the end of the
figured out
day,
anything,
they say it's a rat race.
we are
right?
still a step behind because
Right.
they've already figured
Exactly.
it out.
They say it's a
All
rat-
we are is the brinks of what they've been figured out and
They'll
then
build it.
implemented.
Yeah, exactly. We're
barriers.
part of their plan. You feel me? Like, they say it's a rat race, right? And whatever rat wins that race,
It's still a rat.
It's still a rat, but it sets the bar, sets the rules. It establishes what the next race, how it's gonna be run. You feel me? Whoever the winners are in that race are now establishing the rules. Of
And
the next race.
all that is showing it. All that is giving to them is more information
Yeah.
on how to hinder population.
And how to prosper in their own.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? How to keep themselves going and how
Like,
to keep
oh,
others-
okay, they
'cause
figure this out.
Just
So
like,
now
just
we
like
got to put a
darkness and
little
light, right?
more.
For someone to be up, somebody else got to be down. That's just how it works. You feel me? You feel me? I want to go to McDonald's now at 3:00 in the morning. Somebody's got to be there working. You feel me? That's just how it
Whether
works.
it's a robot or a human.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people think, okay, robots do this job. I don't got to be up at 3 in the morning working at McDonald's. But now, how is you going to make money? Because you don't have any technical skills or, you don't act on your intuition or any ambition. So it's like, yeah.
No, that was real.
So it's gonna get to a point where they're gonna give us an allowance, right? Humans beings gonna be living off an allowance, you know.
And that's the answer too if robots took over.
Exactly, because how else would we be able to sustain ourselves?
Right, and that was the question of
everything would have
what
to be
would
free.
give these humans the deservance of it if they're not working for it. But then there's Section 8, there's
you know, China's already turning itself into a state of based on your social credit, right? Not just having credit and money, but having a good social standing. You know, if you don't have a good social standing in China, you'll never be shit. And that starts from your family
ancestors,
right? So, you know, if you're a son of a doctor, you'll be a doctor. But if you're a son of a janitor, then shit, your life is fucked.
Right.
That's how that shit goes, bro. All right, bro.
Yes, sir. Man, you get the fuck out. Oh, he got out. Yo, wake up. Wake up on the ride with me at least. You just missed scientist speaking, bro. Tell me how to get to your crib. Come on. Tell me how to get to your crib, bro. Yo, wake the fuck up. Tell me how to get to your crib.